Shalom and welcome everyone to the ICEJ weekly webinar. I'm David Parsons of the International Christian Embassy, coming to you from our headquarters in Jerusalem. Just want to welcome everyone. If you're on the Facebook Live or over on YouTube channel and you need translation, we have Portuguese, Chinese, French, and Spanish over here in the webinar, in the Zoom session. We have a really great program for you today. We're glad you've joined us because our guests today are important officials down in the Israeli communities along the Gaza border, who last weekend went through another one of these intense rocket wars and escalation between Israel, the IDF, and some of these Palestinian terror militias in Gaza. And we're going to talk to them, get in a conversation about what this was like for them, how do they cope with life on the border, and the important question, will the current ceasefire, is it going to last? Is it going to hold? And we introduce our guests. We have the mayor of the Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council with us. This is Mr. Ofir Libshtein. Good to have you with us, Ofir.
Hello from Israel. Hello from Sha'ar HaNegev, and I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, now he's going to be with us for about 15 minutes or so here. He has time to be with us, and then his colleague Yael Ben Ari, who's the spokesman for the Sha'ar HaNegev Regional Council, will finish out today's webinar with us. But Mr. Mayor, tell us, what was it like for you and all the communities in your region? I understand you're in all the farming communities out around Sderot, which is right near the border. And what was it like for y'all last weekend?
We start before, in Tuesday, it started. Because in the first 3 days, almost 4 days, 3.5, it was like a quiet war. No shooting, no rocket, but everything was closed. The army said nobody supposed to be on the border, or to be that from the other side someone can see you, because we know that the Jihad Islamic, many teams of anti-tank rocket was waiting to catch a bus or a car with people, with the citizen, and this is what they want to do, a terror attack. And for almost 4 days, 3.5 days, they just was waiting, then we will do some mistake. And we have, because the army said, nobody go out, nobody go in, be careful, they can see you. That only in Friday afternoon, the army, the Israeli army, had the opportunity to catch some terrorists and to found them. And that was the start of the 3 days of escalation in this operation. In those days, they shot more than 1,000 rockets to Israel. 300 rocket was on Sha'ar HaNegev. And maybe later we will see the map to understand what is Sha'ar HaNegev. Sha'ar HaNegev, it's a region next to the border with 10 kibbutzim. It's kind of a village, kibbutz, and one village. And this is Sha'ar HaNegev. We have here 10,000 people that live at the border, on the border, in the yeshuvim, in the kibbutzim. And just imagine, 300 times we was running to the shelter when the alarm was make the noise, you know, red color, red color, red color. And we was supposed to run to the shelter. And this was our last week.
Hmm. Yeah, it shows that the IDF had good intelligence on what was happening over in Gaza, what their plans were. You know, that must be reassuring for you, but, you know, you're living there and you're really dependent on the IDF protection, but they have their own objectives and tasks to carry out. It's not necessarily yours. That must not be easy for you.
Yeah, we trust our, you know, IDF, but we was very happy that this time the government of Israel decide to give a green line to the IDF, to the Israeli army, to shoot, not and not to wait until they will shoot on Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, because they know they want to shoot on us. The terrorist organization over there was ready to shoot and to kill and to make a terror attack. And this is, I think it's very important for us, because we now feel better that that the army was keep and you know, do everything to keep our life and didn't wait until they would shoot forward, you know, to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. And it's very important.
Okay, if we can put up this map of the area of the Sha'ar HaNegev, and then focus in so people can see it. Mr. Mayor, explain to our people a little bit about why you are so vulnerable right along the border there. I understand the Iron Dome doesn't work at such close range, and you have a lot less time to get into shelters, only 15, 20 seconds.
We got 15 seconds, and you know, even the Iron, you know, it's amazing. It's something very good. Yeah. It's a miracle. You know, 96% of the rocket, it can you know, found a solution for 96%. But still, because we are so close to the border, we have rocket that, you know, just fall before even the alarm are starting sometimes. And this is something that you support us so much. It's unbelievable. You know, just to understand, in the last 10 years, we grow only in Sha'ar HaNegev. Sha'ar HaNegev, it's where you can see all the red point on the map. This is the area of Sha'ar HaNegev. And we grow from 5,200 people to almost 10,000. And this is because we know we have friends all over the world and help us, like you done, to help us to build, you know, shelter all over this area. And we can feel more safe. And we have, you know, for our children, they can go outside from the home, and they know they will find a shelter when the rocket will start. And this is a great opportunity to say thank you so much for your helping us to make this area stronger and bigger. And your help, it's very helpful for us.
Yes, over the last 15 years, the Christian Embassy has donated around 140 portable bomb shelters down along the Gaza border area. I think it's 32 of them in the regional council of Sha'ar HaNegev, which is 10 kibbutzim or moshavim, farming communities out and around Sderot. And look, they don't have much time to hide, and we're just pleased that these people are, you know, we're helping them stay in place so that they don't get chased out of their homes and their businesses, their farms by these terrorists. And I hope, you know, for your children and your families and all, that we're providing you not only with safety, but with some peace of mind.
Yeah, just imagine 300 rocket in 52 hours. It means every hour we got more than 5 rockets. Just imagine you sit in your home or you are outside of your home, and every hour, it means every 20 minutes you have alarm, then you need to run to the shelter. And this has helped us very, very much. And I think the connection with your embassy here in Jerusalem is very important. You know, Jürgen was come to visit, and we just met before, I think 2 months. He was in my house, he come to visit, and I think we are dreaming to do something together, to bring you, all of you, when you are going to come to Israel in Sukkot, and you're going to be in Jerusalem. We want to to bring you here to Gaza envelope and to come to visit us. And you are more than welcome. And we are waiting for you that you will come to visit us here and to see the border, to see how close it's for the other side. You know, all our children, almost all our children, or before or after or in psychological treatment. You know, it's not easy. It's like you got two stories inside us. One story, it's a beautiful story, you know, agriculture until the border, industry, high tech, everything. It's amazing. It's 95% of the time here, it's the best place to live. But 5% of the time, it's not easy at all. And those 5% of the time, bring almost all our children to do psychological treatment. And all of us, even me, I'm not ashamed to say, that we are suffer from post trauma. Mm-hmm. And this is something that, you know, me, my children, everyone, but after everything, we are keep growing. Yeah. More people want to come to live, to be part of this amazing community. And this is our secret weapon, you know. Not only the IDF, the Israeli army, we got the community here. And this is the story.
Yeah, I was a little shocked. We were down in Sderot a few months ago. It was first time in 2 years due to Corona. And I was surprised all the cranes and all the building sites and the apartment buildings going around in and around your area, that the place is growing. And it's amazing testament to your faith. We do look forward to being with you at Sukkot. We have an 8-day celebration up in the Galilee in Jerusalem, but the last day, the 8th day, we're going down to Sha'ar, HaNegev, the Gaza border area, and hold a solidarity rally with our friends down there that we've been helping with bomb shelters, with firefighting equipment, and in other ways. And we're going to partner with the Jewish National Fund, Kakal, to plant trees at a couple kibbutzim, so that Mayor, like you said, if the trees are a visual border, those anti-tank rockets, those terrorists can't shoot them. They don't know, they can't see what they're shooting at, cars and all going down the road. So it's we look forward to that, but we just wish you the best and pray safety on all your communities and families there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And we will meet in October in Sukkot here in Israel, in Sha'ar HaNegev. I will waiting for you. Thank you very much, David.
Yes. You're going to have some baskets of fruit like that for us, huh?
No problem.
Okay.
It's from plastic. It's not for wood. It's just for the. Just kidding. This is the food from the Israeli land.
Oh my!
This is our food. Then thank you very much. Yael will stay with you for more questions, more things. Then thank you.
Yes. Toda rabba rabba. Thank you. Yahel, thank you for joining us as well. And I know whenever things escalate, what happens with your communities? All your families have to go stay in bomb shelters? Are you or the security teams able to get up and go around and sort of help with the IDF, making sure everything's okay?
Well, hi everybody. unfortunately, we have been drilling this escalation for quite time now, over 20 years, and we have become an expert. And one of the things we found out is when the artillery starts, there's no point to keep the kids around and people who can do their business from other places. So the first thing we do is we try to evacuate the population, especially from the near border communities. If Sha'ar HaNegev has 12 communities altogether, some of them, about 6 of them, are really on the border. And these are the first one we take away from the area for respite, to get away from the noises, of course, from the danger. And the thing is, we don't just send them away, we do it organized by the regional municipality. So the communities goes as a community to one place. We also send our resilience team and social workers to every one of the communities, wherever they are, to spend the time with them, to make sure that the community is running over there. And about 20% of the population will stay in the communities because we have the cow sheds, the chicken houses, the farm that we have to take care of. And of course, the security people, the firefighters, volunteers, because a lot of the time fires happening due to rocket fire, and we have to be there to join the forces, the emergency forces. So whoever is taking part as a volunteer of emergency teams will stay in the area, but the families will go. The young kids, the young families will go away and come back when it's finished.
Yeah. How informed does the IDF keep you as like officials over these areas? Did they give you some idea whether this would be a short escalation or maybe something longer? Did they tell you whether they expected Hamas to join in or not?
Well, let's divide it to two. The answer to two. First of all, the routine is we're working together with the army and with the police and with all the forces, with all the teams. We have our own emergency team in every community, and they have direct connection, and we get the alerts. They know when rockets are going to fly, and they alert us, go into the safe rooms now, and so on. This is all the time, cooperation all the time. But usually we're not involved in the operation itself, usually. This time, it was the first time that we were a part of the decision-making, in a way, as much as possible. You don't let civilians take the decisions. But one thing the Ministry of Defense did, Benny Gantz, he came here on Friday morning, talking to the mayors of the authorities of the Gaza envelope.
This was right before it all started and blew up. Okay.
And he came to listen to the mayors, and the mayors told him, it's nice that there are no rockets flying, but you cannot lock down the communities for 4 days without anything coming. And that was part of his decision to try and get the terror squads that were threatening the roads. This is where it's all started. So this decision was taken, we would like to believe, when talking to the mayors of the Gaza envelope. In a way, again, it's a governmental decision and intelligent decision and army decisions, but we did feel like we are brought into the thinking, and Ofir mentioned that because until now, what used to be is that rockets were flying, nothing was moving forward, like maybe a small attack here and there, and only when the rockets get to Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, then the real war started. This time it was different, and we really felt that paying attention to our needs, to our thoughts, and really putting us in the thinking cycle.
Yeah. And this all had to do with something going on in the West Bank in Judea, Samaria, far from you, that I believe the IDF had concluded that there had been quite a few terror attacks, shootings, other incidents in Judea, Samaria, that they concluded Palestinian Islamic Jihad, which answers straight to Iran. They were behind it, and they were arresting some guys. They arrested someone in Jenin or Nablus, and Palestinian Islamic Jihad then started plotting to fire anti-tank rockets at Israeli vehicles along the border. That's how it escalated. This is like, it has nothing to do with y'all, but that's how it happened. That's not easy.
Yes, most of this escalation starts for political reasons. Sometimes, I'm not a professional or a political reporter or anything. I've just been living here. I was born in Kibbutz Erez, and I've been living here for the last 20 years of this security situation. And we know that if something happens in Jenin, we are packing our bags and we're getting ready, And sometimes it's ridiculous, because sometimes the political issues are between the organizations inside Gaza, between Hamas and Jihad, for example. Usually it is between Jihad and Islamic Jihad and Hamas. And the Jihad shoots rockets because he knows he will get Hamas in trouble when he shoots rockets.
Yeah.
And they want to show them who's the boss. So they're shooting rockets. Sometimes the rockets go to the sea, or maybe they fall inside Gaza, but sometimes not. And we just happen to be there. We're not part of this thing at all.
It's interesting. That's the role Hamas used to play with Fatah and the Palestinian Authority. They were always shooting and trying to embarrass the PA, and now that they have to rule Gaza, the calculations are a little different. I don't think they've given up on destroying Israel.
Again, not as a political reporter, but as someone who lives here, we see a very strong change with the Hamas leadership, who actually went in from a terror organization to the sovereigns of Gaza. And they finally understand that they have population to take care of, to their education, to their food, to their water, drinking water. It's a serious problem in Gaza. Electricity is running very low on Gaza, just a couple of hours a day, sometimes not at all. Sewage system, that kind of thing. And we see step by step that Hamas understands that he needs to run his place, runs his state or his local people, and he's not in a hurry to join the action. It's true that some people say, well, just stop me if I go too much into the politics, but I think
no, that's all right. Please.
I think it's interesting because some people say, oh, Hamas is very happy for this. Jihad and Israel are fighting, very good for Hamas. We do not believe this is the reason why they did not join this party. Hamas understands and calculates what's good for him, and he sees the economical benefits he gets with the last couple of months, with the 14,000 permits for Gazians to cross the border to Israel to work. There are over 65% unemployment in Gaza. Hamas understand how important work is for the people of Gaza. They want to bring bread to their families. And he understands that if he starts with rockets, the numbers will go down again. And because until 2 years ago, we had maybe a few hundreds of permits, and now we have 14,000 permits. That's a lot. And for the first time, starting this month, for the first time in many years, 1,500 of these permits are working visas. All the others could not legally work in Israel. And now we have 1,500 workers that can work in a legal way inside Israel. And this is not only the concept, but think of the Israeli salaries, which is of course much higher than the salary in Gaza. Coming into Gaza, every provider, every working man that comes out to work in Israel provides 9.5 people in Gaza. So it's like 10 times more people enjoy this. And you know, the economical circle around those providers is working, the shops in Gaza, everything improves. And Hamas finally starts to understand how important it is to keep his control in Gaza. Before that, Hamas had his nationality. Well, the things that were important for Hamas leadership were money, political force, nationality, and only then you got to the food for the people, education and medical health. And you can see it, if Hamas shooting rockets at trucks standing on the border waiting to bring in food to Gaza, because it was not cooperating, because it was not coordinated with Hamas. So we would shoot rockets, or we shoot rockets there's only one cross at the Erez cross for people coming out of Gaza. People go to get treatment in Israeli hospitals. You probably know this, in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv. And Hamas is shooting rockets on the Erez cross because he doesn't like this idea. And for the first time, we see Hamas stay out of action because he knows he has a lot to lose. And he see the good things possible with playing by the rules with Israel.
Yeah. Now, I know that some Israeli strategic analysts say that Hamas also doesn't mind Palestinian Islamic Jihad getting weakened a little, which I understand the IDF really bloodied their nose. Hamas exploits the Islamic Jihad sometimes, gives them a little leeway to fire some rockets, but they don't want them to get too strong. And this actually serves Hamas interests.
Again, I agree that some people think this way, and I guess Hamas wouldn't mind that much, but we do believe it's not the reason why he did not join this.
Yeah, okay.
Because Hamas paid his share to there's a couple of organizations in Gaza, and now they joined forces and they have like a joint committee. And Hamas is paying his part on this committee by not joining in. But he makes the calculations and what he benefits from staying outside.
It's more.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I just want to go over a few details about where, what was the scorecard out of this latest rocket war. Of course, we had the Second Lebanon War in 2006, which was a major 34-day war, primarily in the northern half of the country. And then down along the Gaza border, you've had 4 major wars. I guess this was like another escalation, really, for 3 days, but almost 1,200 rockets fired by Palestinian Islamic Jihad in about 66 hours from Friday to Sunday. 200 of them fell short. There were 44 Palestinians killed, and maybe a third of them, 15 or so, probably killed by rockets that Islamic Jihad fired, but they fell inside Gaza. The Iron Dome, those that reached Israel and were heading for populated areas, around almost 400 rockets. The Iron Dome took down 96% of them. They've really improved it. It's gone from 80-some to 88 to 92, and now this time 96% success rate. And the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, they lost this big tunnel project, an active terror project that they hadn't quite finished, but it was going to go into Israeli territory. That got destroyed. They lost quite a few weapons factories where they were making their own rockets, command centers, observation towers, 17 observation points, and some of them, when they were taken out by the IDF, there were people in it. You could see them flying out of the towers and all. That's some of the footage that we've seen. 12 commanders of Palestinian Islamic Jihad, including the commander in the north and the main one in the south, digging this terror tunnel. And I mean, those were two key figures, plus
the highest ranks in the Islamic Jihad. Yeah.
And there were two guys who one is on a hunger fast, the other is the one captured in Jenin. They were demanding that they be released. The IDF or Israel did not agree to release them, and the ceasefire, they're still agreed to the ceasefire. That's a big win for Israel. No prisoners released and no Israelis killed. We did have some injuries, and you have to live with the trauma. My question is, that's a pretty good beating, and it really shows they had the intelligence on Palestinian Islamic Jihad, what were their targets versus Hamas targets and all. But do you have a sense that it's going to be quiet there for a while? Is this ceasefire going to hold? Is there anything in the ceasefire that troubles you?
Well, first of all, regarding the numbers you mentioned, I would like to talk about the children that were killed on this escalation. And I think when you talk about number, you must start with these numbers.
These are children in Gaza, like 16 or so.
Yes, and I think there was a 5-year-old one as well, if I remember right. And this is very we feel very bad about it. I must say this. You have to remember that until 20 years ago, we used to go in Gaza. People from there used to come to us. We were working together. We were like family friends. We used to attend the events on family events on both sides. And we are all looking for these days to come back. So our friends are there. Okay, most of the people in Gaza are normal people like us who just want to have good education, food on the table for the children, looking for a good future for their children. If you leave aside the small amount of terrorists, this is the majority of Gaza. And now, if you're asking if this is going to hold on or not, I guess nobody really knows, because as we realize now, shooting and escalations are not necessarily starts because someone is shooting at someone. It can start from different reasons. It can start because someone in the leadership is do not like the treatment the people in jail gets in the Israeli jail. And it can start because the activity in the West Bank, in Jenin, is on. The IDF is still working in Jenin to find some people, some wanted people, and this is something that can easily turn the fire again. If the wrong thing happens there, if the work is not accurate enough, and a mistake happened in Jenin again, the whole thing can start all over. If you isolate the Gaza Strip and the area, you can definitely say the ceasefire is on and it will hold. But there are a lot of reasons away of our control and away of our area that can light this thing again.
Yeah, we're hoping that that it stays calm through the Sukkot in October, and that we're free to come visit you then. We'll
talk to the Hamas and we'll make sure it's okay.
Yeah. No, we really, if we want to, stand with you, we can't just be fair weather friends. We have to show solidarity with you. We want to come down and visit you. But this leads to my next question: is how can we be helping as Christians from around the world? How can we be helping the communities there in Sha'ar, HaNegev, and in the whole Gaza periphery area?
Well, it's a short question, but it's a long answer. So
Please.
First of all, whoever listens, don't feel afraid to come here in October. My two daughters live here, and everything is okay. As Ofir mentioned, 95% of the time it's okay. And if we do feel any severe danger, we will let you know before you come. Don't worry. Please feel at home. It's our home. It's your home. You're most welcome. So regarding the security issue we have here for a very long time, I just want to remind you that the communities on the Gaza envelope are quite small, and they're very capable of providing themselves. But when you need to have so many protected facilities like bomb shelter, or we call them safe rooms, which needs a lot of concrete and a lot of metal, and you need them all over because you have, we say 15 seconds, usually it's less. It depends where the rocket is coming out in Gaza from. If it comes out close to the border, we have much less than 15 seconds. And small communities cannot afford all this concrete and metal. And this is where you stepped in a couple of years ago and helping us a lot with those, with the bomb shelters, with the safe rooms. This is a great help. And the idea is to try and keep our normal way of life under escalations and security issues. And take, for example, the clinic in the kibbutz, or the small shop we have in every community. If rocket starts flying, you have to close it. But if you have a safe room attached to the shop, you can open the shop and people can come. And if they hear the alarm, they will run into the safe place, wait a couple of minutes and go on shopping. These little things change the whole perspective. But I'm not going to talk about concrete and metal now. I want to talk about this conversation, for you taking the time to listen to us, and for your interest and your concern to us along the years. This is not less important than concrete and metal, because the strength of the people here, the resilience of the personal resilience and the community resilience of the people that lives here, and what brings us to come back, even if we go away for a couple of days to Jerusalem to wait till it's over, we come back after that to keep working our fields, our farms, and keep living here and raising our families. And this is not all we do. Ofir mentioned it. After we take care of the education and the health and the security and resilience and the cultural life, this is not enough for us. We ask ourselves every day, what can we do to make this place better? So we develop new businesses and new job opportunities, interesting careers for people. And this is the things that we're working on. And you can see the results. All the communities in Sha'ar HaNegev are full. We are building new neighborhoods in each one of the communities, and these new neighborhoods are already full, booked. We have waiting lists for the next neighborhoods in the communities. That means we're doing something right, and that means, and a lot of it is your help. The help you're with us along the years. That helps us bring our communities bigger and stronger in resilience, I mean, and to attract young families to come and live in this area. So actually everything you do in any of these fields is very important. Of course, you can, if you look aside for a minute on the special needs area, on the psychological services, the social workers, the resilience centers, it's very developed here, unfortunately, and this is places that always help is needed, which you are already involved, I guess, in part of it.
Yes,
parts of it. Yeah. This is what it's all about, bringing us back to normal life as possible, And again, the physical help as the mental help or knowing that you are with us is not less important than than the physical things.
Yeah.
And by coming to visit us, this is a very big excitement for us. It's maybe people do not show it, but when you want to come and visit us, and when you're here, we feel our chest is full, and we're full of pride for this.
Yeah, if you have all that fruit out there waiting, we're coming.
That's a check, promised.
Yes. Okay. Look, the Sapir College is in your regional council, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a good example. It's a college where you say, given the people of your area new opportunities, new jobs, hope for the future. I know Sapir, it's this college down there that's doing that for a lot of people. We're helping a lot of Ethiopians who study there, many others. We do all sorts of, as you mentioned, the trauma and resilience centers. We've been supporting them, but the Sapir College out in the main parking lot for students, we put a couple bomb shelters out there. And I think within a few days of delivering those, put them in place, someone informed us they were in their car, the alarm went off, they ran in, and a shell hit in the parking lot, and they feel it saved their life. I know that our friend, he's a former Knesset member who lives. No. It's
Shai Hermesh.
Shai Hermesh. Okay. He called Jürgen one day when Jürgen was in Germany and says, "Hello, is this Jürgen Bueller?" And Jürgen says, "Yes. What can I do?" He said, "You saved my life." "What are you talking about?" Well, he had used a shelter out near his home, which had just been put in place, and a rocket hit right outside of it, and he testifies it saved his life. So we put these in public areas, serving daycares, medical centers, other places. I think there's some factories in the area that didn't have adequate shelter. They were hiring new people. They needed more shelter. And so we really work with the local communities, and we put 139 shelters in the Gaza area communities from Keren Shalom all the way up into Ashkelon. And there's still needs there. People, the area is growing. This is incredible to hear this. And that means they're going to need some more shelters in some of these areas. But Yachel, it's really great to hear a positive report and a positive attitude, and especially to hear that what we're doing is helping.
Yes, I think when you will come here and we'll share with you the things that we're doing here. For example, the technological incubator we have here, and you mentioned Sapir College. It's not only the facilities we have, it's the ecosystem we create with these facilities. And if you meet the 35 startup companies that are working here in Sha'ar HaNegev, with connection of Sapir College, with connection to the high school, there's a lot of special initiatives, like an industrial park we're planning to establish on the border with Gaza for the purpose of Palestinians coming to work in this industrial Gaza and take their salaries back home again. There's a lot. I don't want to do everything now, but there's a lot to see here, and I'm sure you will be amazed by what's going on here, and you will feel that what you did by now is not only a lifesaver, a literally lifesaver, but also developing the entire area for very high standards of community noise.
Okay, I think it's good that we've informed our folks here who are listening in. There'll be more watching it over the weekend as we put this out on social media. Look at these people. If you're within 7 to 10 kilometers of the Gaza border, then Iron Dome doesn't cover you. It's too short a range. The rockets go up and come down before the Iron Dome radar can pick it up. and the rockets they sent out to intercept these mortars and rockets can reach them. So these folks are very vulnerable. Israel is developing, hopefully, a laser system that will be more short range for these short range rockets. But until then, these people for years have been living under this constant rocket threat, where when the escalations come and you're in bomb shelters for day after day after day, you know, we heard stories of children that were afraid to take a shower, and even parents afraid to take a shower for days and days, because if they were in the shower and the red alert came on, they would never have enough time to get some clothes on and make it to a bomb shelter. And this is the sort of conditions they've been living in. And yet, with our help, with the help of others, the IDF protecting them, they've been resilient. And not only staying there, their communities are growing, but they still have to deal with the trauma among their children and even the families there. So let's be praying for them. Let's keep helping with shelters. And if you want to come and meet with these people, come to the Feast of Tabernacles in October. We're going to spend our last day down in the Gaza border area in Sha'ar, HaNegev, having a solidarity rally with the community down there. Please join us then. Yachel, thank you to Mayor Ofir Libshtein. Thank you to you. We've been talking to Yachel Ben Ari, who's the spokesman for Sha'ar HaNegev and actually lives in the kibbutz that's closest to the Erez crossing. And anything else to add before we go?
Again, I'm inviting you here. Be happy to have you here and meet you all.
All right. Stay safe, your family, your community, and God bless you from Jerusalem.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the ICEJ weekly webinar. We're going to be back here next Thursday, same time, 4 o'clock. Israel time with another hot topic to talk about. Of course, next Wednesday, again, we have our global prayer gathering. Join with Christians from all over the world to pray for Israel, the region, and your own countries. And of course, the Feast of Tabernacles coming up 9 through 16 October, this Sukkot. Come join us here in the land of promise. God bless you from Jerusalem.
Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next Thursday at 4 p.m. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on our social media pages for more exclusive ICEJ content.